obviously you mentioned Caitlin was meeting with doctors over these past couple of days. Is there any update on those meetings or a potential timeline for her?
I don't have an update. No, she saw another one this morning. I have not spoken with the trainers yet in between time from shoot around in a game, so no update from what we said yesterday.
She met with another today in New York, or did she travel with the team?
She did travel with the team, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just recapping AllStar Weekend.
Yeah.
What was your perception of it? How much, did you enjoy yourself? And just overall thoughts.
I think I'm incredibly proud of our organization, of our city, just the attention to detail, the way that they showcased the W. It was just a really great environment. It was the epicenter of women's basketball for the weekend. Seeing the activations in the community, seeing the signage everywhere. I mean, all of that was just top notch, and really special shout out to Pacer Sports and Entertainment and to our organization for continuing to lead the way in what it means to put on these massive events.
You've been in the league a minute,
A long time, yeah.
And the All-Star game has progressed year over year. Can you speak to its progression and how it's become a tentpole event, not just in the W, but in the sports world at large?
Yeah, I think it's a fun time to get together, right? To see people that are competitors, adversaries sometimes in some ways, and just a different environment to remind us that we're all in this together, to bring the best players in the league together, to showcase talent, to enjoy community and camaraderie, to celebrate the first half of the season while you get ready to compete in the second half of the season. I think everybody'd like to see a more competitive game, but at the same time, it's a fun time to get everyone together and to enjoy one another, because it really is such a small community in our league, and to be able to celebrate one another it's fun.
Lexi was saying that the team has been resilient, but in so many ways it follows your lead in terms of being resilient in the first half. I guess, what do you think of that characterization that they've learned so much of their resilience from you, and what do you feel like you've taught them in the first half? Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I learn a lot from them too. They're in the fire every single day. We as coaches just talk about it, and they're a really good group. They fight for each other every day. They play for each other every day. They've been dealt a lot of different circumstances, and they've handled it with grace. With humility, and haven't felt sorry for themselves, right? And we've just continued to chip away, and I'm proud of them for that. I think we've continued to grow through that, which I think is important, and I think will pay dividends down the line. I think players have gotten experience that they may not have been able to get if we hadn't have gone through what we've gone through already. And now it's just about us continuing to navigate putting those pieces together. Just when it seems like we start to get a little bit of a run, a rotation, a consistency, we've had another setback, but that's also part of professional sports. And so I think they've done a great job of handling it, and I'm looking forward to trying to see less of those moments in the second half of the season.
Hi, Steph. So right before the last game of the first half, you guys had dropped below 1 point per possession on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
That's a number you guys haven't hit as a franchise since the 2015 Fever, who I believe you're familiar with as well. Yeah. So what I'm wondering is this a stat that reflects, you think, where you guys need to get to defensively? And if not, do you have a particular metric that is important to you as you think about where your defensive growth is coming? Yeah,
I mean, I think all of those, certainly. Yes, I'm proud of that. I felt like, early in May, we were in the upper half defensively, right? I think defensive efficiency, and then we kind of hit a little skid in June, and we were trending upward, and I felt like we hit another little skid maybe that last week to 10 days prior to All-Star break. Look, there's natural slippage throughout the course of a season when you don't have opportunity to practice and really readdress it. I felt like our slippage happened in terms of disruption and how we were or were not disrupting offense. So we've got to continue to do that. Yes, I'm proud of that. Look, I didn't expect for us to go from where we were to the top, but we need to be middle of the pack, upper middle of the pack in order to give ourselves opportunities for success. So I'm proud of the way that this group has really embraced that. And now it's just about doing it consistently and doing it game over game, no matter the opponent. Because you play better opponents, they're going to exploit different things, and you've got to be able to make quick adjustments, and you've got to be able to live with the things that you're willing to live with and really, really believe in that.
Steph, Sandy said before that she gave Stewie and Sabrina yesterday off to recover. They're going to have a light week. Shoot-arounds probably not do them because they had a lot of stuff going on with the All-Stars. You guys had All-Stars, but you also were hosting, and I'm guessing most of your players had some involvement with something over the weekend. How do you balance giving them some time to sort of get their legs back and knowing that you have a game tonight and probably some more games later this week?
Yeah. Well, we had workouts on Sunday for our non-All-Stars. Certainly they were involved in some other things, but not nearly the time demands that everyone else was. And more than anything, what I didn't want is typically after a day off or after multiple days off, practices are a little sluggish. So I didn't want everybody coming back a little sluggish. And then we brought everybody else back yesterday, and I thought we had a really good day. It is a balance, it certainly is a balance. Thankfully, AB's young, Kelsey's in the mid range, right there. But we also know we have work to do. We know we have work to do. And so it's always a balance for us as coaches. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But it did help that our players were not having to travel on Sunday or Monday and that we were home.
All right. Coach, obviously every game is important, but right out of the break, you faced the two most recent WNBA champions, probably the most improved team in Phoenix, I think, and then Chicago as well. How important is the start of the second half of the season? I know every game is important, but how important are these next 3 to 4 games?
It's really important for us. It's important for us to come back and to set the tone. It's important for us to recognize, where we are in the point of the season and the sense of urgency that it demands from us daily, every possession. But we also have to play the game that's right in front of us and play the possession that's right in front of us. So right now it's New York and really focusing on being better than we were the last time that we played them. Our attention to detail has to be better. And hopefully our consistency on both ends of the floor. We've had a couple of days of practice, which is really good, has been really good for us, and our team always tends to respond when we're able to do that.
Steph, I just spoke to Sid, and she said that you were at her comedy
Yes.
show. So I have to know, how did you think she did? And just in general, talking about the Sid Colson experience, what have you learned about her that, you didn't know before?
I love how you said the Sid Colson experience. She did great. I'm so proud of her. I know that she's done it before, but to do it in an environment like that was incredible. She was amazing. Someone asked me, what's it like to see Sid up there doing that? I'm like, well, we see it every day, right? There's comedic relief. There's improvisation every day in practice, every day that you're around her. I mean, she's one of the funniest people that I know. She's got perfect timing and when to do it, right? And the thing is that it's part of her leadership style, and it really does do a good job of kind of letting everybody take a deep breath, right? Like it's serious what we do, but it's also not serious what we do, right? We play the game of basketball. We coach the game of basketball. It's a kid's game. It's something that we've done our entire lives. And so she really knows how to disarm people and bring it back down, especially in those high-pressure moments. She's obviously a wonderful human being. She's a coach on the floor. She's a coach in the locker room. I always tell her when she's talking to her teammates on the sideline or on the bench, get the board out, write it down. I mean, she's seeing it exactly like we see it. Her basketball mind is incredible. I kind of secretly hope that maybe she does comedy and coaching when she's finished playing. But I'm so thankful that we have her on our team, on our roster, and as a human being in our lives.
Coach, piggybacking off that a little bit, I was talking to Sophie on the court, and she says she takes it as a little bit of a personal responsibility to keep everybody together. Mm-hmm. Is it hers? Are there any specific voices that have helped you the most in navigating the turbulence?
Yeah, those two for sure. Sophie is just, her personality is just infectious. She is naturally a gifted leader. She's naturally a connector. She brings great energy, and so her voice carries. People listen. People are impacted by it. She knows the right thing to say. She's another one that really has a coach's mind. And she leads by example with how she shows up every day. And so certainly Sophie and Sid have been great voices of reason in our locker room, continue to be. AB as well. I think AB's one of the best leaders that I've been around. She's got great perspective. She's a high IQ player. She's young in terms of her experience in our league, but she's wise in terms of her basketball experience and knowledge. And so, to have multiple players on your team who can bring those perspectives, who can bring that balance, who can use their voice is really important, because ultimately as coaches, you want player-led teams. Player-led teams are the best teams, and our team is becoming that.
Steph, it's extremely rare in the WNBA for, a team to have a midseason acquisition, especially at the level of, Emma Miesemann.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just curious, two-part question for you. Reaction when you hear that the defending champions bolstered their roster by getting yet another player of her caliber.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, heading into this trade deadline, I mean, there's going to be so much, there's the potential for more movement, knowing that a lot of these players are on expiring contracts. So both those, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, my reaction is, oh, geesh. No, I mean, obviously, Emma's been an incredible player in our league, hasn't been in the league for a little while, but has been an incredible leader abroad and player abroad. She just adds another dimension. You're talking about an already dangerous team that adds one of the best players in the world and allows them to play differently, depending upon who she's playing with and what kind of lineup they use. Spreads the floor differently, gives you a different look offensively, defensively, probably a little bit more versatility. They're already long and have floor spacers, and now they've got another one, so it makes them even more dangerous. And what was the second part of the question?
Just trade deadline also has the potential to be a lot more movement than what we usually see. So I guess I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all certainly expect some movement, continued movement. I think one of the great things about our league over the last few years is that we've continued to see more trade movement, free agent movement, all of the above than we've ever experienced before. And I think it keeps everybody on their toes. I think it's good for our game. It gives players opportunities to land in different spots and be in different positions. Ultimately, it's about finding the right fit, and it's about becoming the right fit for an organization. And so I'm excited that our league continues to trend that way.